Hello children, good morning. Today we'll do the questions and answers of which lesson? Yes, the treasure within. Did you go through the summary of the story? The treasure within? Yeah, it's a beautiful story. About whom? Hafiz contractor. Okay, so let's begin the session. Comprehension check, page number 28. So these are the questions. The first one. What did Hafiz contractor have nightmares about? What did the principal say to him which influenced him deeply? That year I did not step out into the field. What was he busy doing that year? What distraction did Hafiz contractor create one day? Would you have liked to participate in the distraction had you been with him? Now we'll have a look at the answers, children. Okay, here's the first answer. A nightmare is a bad dream for haunting or haunting fear. Yeah, it keeps haunting. Hafiz had nightmares about mathematics examination. Second, the principal told Hafiz that he was a good student, but he never studied. His mother had worked hard to bring him up. It was a time now to rise to the occasion and study. Third one, he was busy studying books that year. Fourth, for 1 whole hour, he along with his friends played chore police. I would have avoided such distraction for fear of the teacher. Moreover, it was completely a wastage of time. Page 32, Comprehension Check. Questions. Hafiz contractor wanted to join the police force. Why didn't he? In the architect's office, Hafiz contractor was advised to drop everything and join architecture. Why? What was Mrs. Gupta's advice to Hafiz contractor? What made her advise him so? How did he help fellow students who had lost a button? Which rules did he break at a school as a school boy? What is Hafiz contractor's definition of mathematics? How would you want to define mathematics? How would you want to define mathematics? Do you like the subject? Okay, now we'll have a look at the answers, children. The first one. Hafiz wanted to join the police force, but his mother advised him to do his graduation first. So he joined Jai Hind College in Mumbai. So he joined which college? Jai Hind College in Mumbai. Yeah. It happened quite by chance. What happened by chance? One day he saw somebody drawing a window design. He pointed out that the drawing was wrong and the window would not open, and he was proved right. His cousin's husband was surprised. He asked him to design a house and he did that. After that, he told Hafiz to leave everything and join architecture. Okay, the third one. When he was in the 2nd or 3rd standard, one of his teachers, Mrs. Gupta, saw his sketches and advised him to become an architect when he grew up. Second, she advised him on seeing his fine sketches. Fourth answer. When a fellow student lost a button while playing or fighting, Hafiz would cut a button for him from chalk using a blade. As a schoolboy, he never studied. Until his 11th, he always copied to pass the examination. But that's wrong, children. Sixth, according to Hafiz contractor, maths is a combination of putting designs, construction, psychology and sociology together and making sketch from all that. Mathematics is the best branch of science, but it is a bit difficult. So it's a bit difficult according to some. Okay, page 32. Exercises on page number 32. Answer the following questions. The first one, it is likely that someone who is original and intelligent does not do very well at school. Maybe, in some cases, should such a learner be called a failure? If not, why not? Okay, this answer, a learner who is original and intelligent may appear to be a failure at school, but the chances of his doing well in later life are quite right. Who, in your view, is an unusual learner? An unusual learner can be a genius in any subject. He will be different from the rest. Yeah, very true. What can schools do to draw out the best in unusual learners? Suggest whatever seems reasonable to you. School should stop treating all the learners as ordinary. They should not follow old mechanical methods of teaching. Yes, very true. They should try to discover the hidden talent in each learner and encourage him to do the best. Okay, some more questions solved. Short answer type questions. What does the title of the lesson, The Treasure Within, mean? And highlight. The answer, the treasure within, refers to the hidden talent of every child who has his own style of learning and area of interest. Not every topper in the academics becomes an achiever in life. Every child can achieve greatness in his area of interest. Who is Hafiz contractor? What does he tell about himself to his interviewer? How does he find his calling? Hafiz contractor is a leading architect in India at present. In this interview, he traces the story of his childhood and school days. He had little interest in studies. He passed the annual examinations by copying. He used to be a good sportsman, but his cousin's husband once noted his hidden talent. And what did he tell him? To become an architect. The third question, children, please read it. Mr. Hafiz at school was more interested in other things than his books. How does he support this statement? At school, he used to be interested in games and playing jokes. He was a good sportsman, the cricket captain. He used to copy in class during exam times. Maths was a terror for him. Though he did badly in school, he was good at designing. This skill helped. That's the reason he became a famous architect. Okay, so the next question. How does Hafiz give to his client the kind of structure he wants? Hafiz is good at drawing the design of a house on the spot. He looks at the client's face and the way he talks to know what his taste would be like. Then he sketches on the spot and gives it to his client in the office. Okay, so we move on to the next question. Read the question. Do you agree with Hafiz that learning disabilities do not go hand in hand with gifted? There is no general belief that genius usually do not shine in studies. Those who always stand first or second do very ordinary jobs later on. Personality and skills ultimately decide the careers of boys. Okay, then we have some long answer type questions. Children, have a look. How did the principal's words influence Hafiz contractor? The principal was a sensible man. He had been seeing Hafiz from day one. He thought it as his duty to guard him on right time. So when Hafiz approached his 11th standard, he called him and told him that he was a good student, but he never studied. He had lost his father and his poor mother had worked hard to bring him up and pay his fees. It was a time now to rise to the occasion and study. These words of the principal influenced Hafiz deeply. He forgot games that year and studied day and night. As a result, he got a second class, 50% only in SSC. His principal was happy because he had got at least 50. Yes. At least he was happy. Okay, some more questions. What made Hafiz contractor feel that the phases of getting nightmares was now over? Hafiz contractor thought that now, since he doesn't need to think about examinations anymore, his psyche, his mind, has got over with the phase of getting nightmares, that is, bad dreams. What was the designation of Bella Raja? Bella Raja was an editor of Sparsh, a newsletter from Resource Center, the Valley School, Bangalore. So she was an editor of Sparsh, which was at Valley School, Bangalore. For how many years had Hafiz contractor learnt French? He spent 7 years learning French. It is a different matter that he didn't even acquire the skill of speaking a few phrases correctly. That means he did not pick up at all. Who was Behram Devecha? Behram Devecha was a friend of Hafiz contractor with whom Hafiz used to have competitions for designing forts, guns and ammunition. Which were the subjects that Hafiz was good at? Hafiz mentions that he could deal with science and geography. At everything else he was extremely bad. When and with whom did Hafiz contractor commence his career? Hafiz contractor began his career in 1977 under the apprenticeship of T. Karikat. Whom does Hafiz contractor give credit for the lessons he had learnt about life? Hafiz contractor notes that life at boarding schools was difficult, but that made him street smart. He credits those lessons for what he has learnt about life than academics. What does Hafiz contractor have to say about class toppers? What does he have to say? And other good students, they were doing ordinary in life. He shares his observations about his toppers and good students. They were doing ordinary in life. What did Hafiz contractor wish to do? He wanted to join the army. Later then, he thought of joining the police force. His aunt and mother were not in favor of these. Mother and aunt were not in favor of these. Mother and aunt were not in favor of these two professions. What did Hafiz contractor plan strategies for? Plan strategies for fighting against the gangs. Some more short questions. Why did the students used to book Hafiz contractor's books in advance? Hafiz contractor hardly opened his books to study except before the exams. So obviously his books must have been in very good condition. Yes. They were almost like brand new. They could thereby buy second-hand books which were almost new. What does Hafiz contractor say about his memory? What does he say? That he used to forget things very easily. He could remember only things that he saw as a photograph. If he read a book, he could remember the matter like a photograph. but not so through his mind. What used to be Hafiz contractor's state of mind after incurring the wrath of his teachers? Hafiz contractor used to incur the wrath of his teachers quite often. However, he informed Bella Raja that he had hardly any time to reflect, means to think on the beating or scolding that he would have received from his teachers. He would be so busy playing. Why did contractor opt for German in college? He had to choose between either French or German at Jahin College. He chose to opt for German because he had spent 7 years learning French and he could hardly utter. He could hardly utter what? Any words in French. So he thought of trying his hand at German. Describe contractor's activities during his 11th grade. During his 11th grade, Hafiz contractor was deeply stirred by the advice given to him by his school principal. That entire year, contractor withdrew himself from the field and the various games he used to play and devoted his entire time to his studies. He used to merely eat, pray and study. Children, go through these questions and answers once again. Why? So that you are thorough with the story, you are thorough with all the answers. Please read all the questions and answers. Go through once again, children. This is for your benefit. So that's the first question that you see there. The answer. Please read the answer. You have to note down all the questions and answers in your notebook and read all the questions and answers again and again. Read the story also at least 2-3 times so that you're thorough with the story, thorough with the lesson. Okay, so now that's the second question, children. That's about the designation of Bella Raja. She was the editor of Sparsh, newsletter from Resource Center, Valley School, Bangalore. Then there's the third question that you see there. Read it very carefully. Note down all the questions and answers, children. Please note down. This lesson will be included. This will be a part of the syllabus for your periodic test. We have the fourth question there. Please read it carefully. Go through the answer also. That's the fifth question. Which were the subjects that Hafiz was good at? When and with whom did Hafiz contractor commence his career? Whom does Hafiz contractor give credit for the lessons he had learnt about life? So there's the answer. What does Hafiz contractor have to say about class toppers? What did Hafiz contractor wish to do? What did he wish to do? Actually, he had a great desire to join the army. He wanted to join the police force, but his aunt and mother were against these professions. So finally became what? Architect. A renowned architect. What did Hafiz contractor plan? What were his strategies? Okay, then we have some more questions. Why did the students used to book Hafiz contractor's books in advance? He never opened his books. His books were like brand new. What does Hafiz contractor say about his memory? He could remember only things that he saw as a photograph. Yes. So what used to be Hafiz contractor's state of mind after incurring the wrath of his teachers, getting scoldings, punishments? That's the answer that you see there. Children, please note down all the questions and answers. Read the lesson, go through all the questions and answers, note down in your notebooks. That's all for this session. Thank you. Goodbye.